Supercar Throttle only likes to bring performance variant vehicles, and that's why we're showcasing this 2025 Audi RS7 Performance in Ascari Blue Metallic over Black Mercato interior. Last year, we increased 30 horsepower and 37 pound-feet of torque. Thank you, Audi, for doing that, giving us the performance variant that has carried over. We also received a bronze edition, which only had 125 examples in North America, which made it super unique. We have a review on Hawkeye Rides. You should check it out. I'm Anthony, and I'm very excited to bring you this here on Supercar Throttle. 5 inches of clearance, so it's an everyday track-worthy vehicle. 621 horsepower with 627 pound-feet of torque. That's coming out of that bi-turbo TFSI V8 engine. It's a 4.0 liter. 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. Now, it's not going to be something that sips fuel, because anything that gets a 3.3 second 0 to 60, throw that away. Top speed 190 miles per hour. We got the RS Design Package Plus. Otherwise, it's 155 miles per hour. Matrix design, LED headlights and daytime running. We also have the matte carbon package, which gives us the blacked out single frame Audi grille with the blacked out O-rings. That goes into the side air pocket with the gloss black and the carbon inlays, as well as the lower lip. The carbon's going to carry on into the side view mirror, the lower skirt, and the rear diffuser. Now, you can option the black optic package, which all these aesthetics would be in the gloss black, but this looks more performance driven, especially when I'm trying to get a top speed up to 190 miles per hour. Tick the box of the RS Design Plus package. That's also going to give you more features in the interior. Now, that carbon package also gives us these 22-inch wheels. This is a 285/30 on all four corners. Black calipers, that's housing 10 freaking pistons in the front. I can only imagine how much you're gonna pay for service. And yeah, it's over $150,000, so who cares at that point? Hell, the disc is at 16.5 inch. It's drilled, it's ventilated, 14.6 inch in the rear. So add this with the RS tuned suspension, you're not only getting that performance drive, but it's a luxury drive. It's achieving 14 mpgs for the city, 21 mpgs for the highway, just for anybody that's thinking about, well, is it eco-friendly? Hell no. But you know that if you're optioning an RS7 Performance. The rear gets the LED taillights, the retractable trunk lid spoiler, the lower gets the oval exhaust tips because this is the RS, and you got the diffuser. So the sports style is there. It's not going to be a fly underneath the radar. The performance numbers is there with dynamic all-wheel steering and sport rear differential. The dynamic all-wheel steering, that means your rear axle will turn the same direction as the steering wheel, and it'll go the opposite direction whenever you're reversing for tighter parking, and it'll go the same direction going forward to give you that near 50-50 weight distribution. Comparing this against BMW, that's a plug-in hybrid. So I actually like non-plug-in hybrids when I'm going for performance vehicles, because there's really no point of getting 40-50 mpgs on a track-driven vehicle, and it kind of cheats, because if you compare the M5 competition to the new M5, you actually lose horsepower and torque if you do not add that battery that gives you an additional horsepower and torque to make it more performance driven than this. So as this sits, this would be more performance oriented with a near 50-50 weight distribution, but because it's a plug-in hybrid, it's obviously going to be a little bit faster. Now, there is some rumors that for 2026, this could be a plug-in hybrid, but I kind of hope that they keep at least 2 different trims so we can choose from there, not just giving us features to option. And going against Mercedes, that's going to be more money than this, and this is going to be just as fast. The same thing with Porsche. You have to spend nearly $200,000 to get something to the equivalence of an RS7 Performance, making it truly a sweet spot in the super hatch world. Check this thing out. It's a symphony. The damn thing's just too quick for its own good, and that wasn't even in full RS mode, just to show you. And then the braking, it's not gonna have any problems. It's safe, it's performance oriented, it's family oriented. Where the hell are you gonna get all of this in one vehicle? That's where I'm getting at with why it's such a sweet spot compared to something like Porsche, Mercedes, and BMW. Now, on the con to that, You have to add nearly 30 grand of features to make it what it is, boosting the price to a near $160,000 price tag. And a lot of that is because the packages are freaking expensive. I mean, this big and awesome sound system, I wouldn't do it. It's nearly $5,000. That'll shed a ton of money there. The matte carbon package, I stressed on the exterior. I like it, but I would be fine optioning the black optic package, which also gives you upgraded wheels, and it's half the price. Now, the RS Design Package Plus, I would get that because that unlocks the 190 mile an hour top speed. Plus, you're getting the Alcantara inlays throughout the interior, which I showed you, as well as the seat belts in blue and the RS floor mats. The Executive Package, definitely get that. It's sad that they don't give you standard soft closed doors. And I would probably get the driver assist package just because of the adaptive cruise control with the lane guidance, the Audi assist with the pre-sense rear intersection assist. But then Audi kind of nickel and dimes you yet again with the RS Sport exhaust system. You got to spend $1,000 for that? Come on, man. 3.3 seconds, let's see. I would say it does it a little bit faster. I mean, it's freaking quick. Heads-up display, you got to get the executive package. So, I mean, some things you just can't live without, especially if you're trying to get something that captures this much performance. Now, we have rear axle steering, so that's also going to help with the turn radius. And when you're pairing this for a daily drive, that's why this is just an excellent blend. I mean, look at this thing. You're at maybe 2 lanes. This is a long freaking vehicle. Let's rock and roll. Now, sadly, it is hard to drive this car on a normal mode because you know what you have underneath the hood. But realistically speaking, when you're only getting 14 and 21 MPGs, who gives a damn? Enjoy your RS7 performance, because this is truly a sweet spot, because every vehicle compared to this is going to be more expensive, and yet you're getting all of this blended in with room for a family, and it's a hatchback, so you have even more storage compartment, more storage capacity. I mean, nearly 50 cubic feet of storage? What the hell? I got an MC20 like everyone knows. I don't have no damn 50 cubic feet of storage. I'm lucky if I can fit a damn book in the front. You don't feel anything. You don't hear anything. The steering is light, so not a lot of feedback there. But when you put all of the sensors off, you actually do feel a little bit more of the drive. So I appreciate that, because with BMW, you still don't really feel it. And with this, we've been driving it around a little bit, and we noticed when you use the RS and you basically disengage all of the safety, you can feel the slippage in the rear wheels, and it just feels a little bit more special when you're doing that, because there's not a lot of vehicles that give you that playfulness, and yet it's a daily driven, and yet it still captures a family vehicle. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.